It gives me pleasure to introduce our last keynote, Dr. Charisse Sparks. Dr. Sparks is the Chief Medical Officer of Applied VR, which is a leader in immersive therapeutics through virtual reality. As one of the first 3 African-American female orthopedic trauma surgeons in the country, she's driven meaningful innovation for patients in both clinical practice and industry. She's a key member of the Applied VR executive leadership team and a strategic partner who provides deep clinical knowledge and medical stewardship for multiple teams. And your DB idea, we talk about all the things that you could possibly do in healthcare. Well, she advises clinical affairs, R&D, clinical research, regulatory affairs, policy, health economics and market access, new business development, communications, professional education, legal, HCC, QA risk management, product safety, and commercial. Now, she's got all that experience. I expect that you guys will have some things that you want to talk to her about afterwards. She also leads and manages NIH research projects and investor-initiated studies. Before Applied VR, Dr. Sparks spent 6 years with Dupuis Sense. I hope I said that right for those of you in the community. It's a Johnson & Johnson company where she facilitated numerous FDA new product filings and acquired 7 product approvals for the J&J portfolio. Throughout her educational career, Dr. Sparks received numerous awards and recognition for leadership and community involvement. She currently serves on the board of Inspire Medical System and is the steering committee chair for MedTech Color Collaboration Community, the collaborative community. And last but not least, not to be left off the list, she is one remarkable co-presenter that I had the joy of sharing the stage with earlier this year. Dr. Sparks.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So thank you, Ingrid, for that wonderful introduction. These are the most exciting opportunities that I have, is to share time with those that are coming through the ranks, so to speak. So my topic today was about the career journey. So I just want you to sit back and let's have a conversation about what that looks like. So first of all, the career path doesn't look the same for everybody. It's not a straight line typically. Mine started with my mom saying that at the age of 5, I said I wanted to be a doctor. And now we are at the point where I'm a chief medical officer of Applied VR, a virtual reality company. And so if you'd ask that 5-year-old, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I can guarantee you it was not, I want to be the chief medical officer of Applied VR, because number one, I didn't even have any idea what virtual reality was. So let's just start there. So let's take a beat and let's go through what it takes to be on a career journey. Number one size doesn't fit all. And most of the time, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I want everybody to remember that. And throughout this talk, I was asked to give some pearls or share some lessons learned. And I found that through quotes, it might help us to apply some of these processes or some of these experiences. And so Ralph Waldo Emerson said, do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And I think that is so important to developing your career, to outlining what's important to you and delivering what makes you most passionate. And so my path then turned from just thinking about being a doctor. I thought, well, I was in college and all of a sudden, it kind of wasn't any fun anymore. But then there was this opportunity way over here on this circular path where I got to become the CEO of a construction company. So I had the opportunity to apply for a small business administration grant, where in a program where they were offering women loans to perform jobs that were traditionally male. So of course I took on general construction. So I became a general contractor. I became a sub. And when you become a general contractor, you have to learn about all the subspecialties of construction. So yeah, I had to go under houses and dig underneath crawl spaces. I had to get on hot roofs where tar was so hot that it burned the bottom of my boots. And I got to drive big earth moving trucks. And so how far could that have been from being a physician? That's way over there, off the beaten path. And so who are you really and who defines you? That's a really hard question, but you must look in the mirror You have to find where your joy is. You have to find where you derive passion. You have to also outline what you're most afraid of, what scares you and why. And then what is it that you really want? Not your mom, not your dad, not your grandma, not your sister, not your brother, not anyone but you, because it's going to take you work to get to what you want. And so again, even if it makes others uncomfortable, I will love who I am, Janelle Monáe. And this is a powerful one. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept, from Angela Davis. And so as I continued my journey, I titled this slide, Two Sides of the Same Coin. So now I am an orthopedic trauma surgeon. And yes, that was a journey to be the third trained Black female orthopedic trauma surgeon in the country. First of all, there wasn't anybody next to me, right or left, that looked like me or that I knew of that was doing what I was doing. I had to finally go to an orthopedic meeting, and I saw a sister across the room that I ran to. And of course, I ran so fast, she ran away. So I had to stalk her a little bit. And now she is one of my dearest friends and mentors. But the reason I say two sides of the same coin is not only was I in clinical practice, but I looked at some of the issues in clinical practice and the delivery of care. And I decided that my practice would be in areas that were underserved, because believe it or not, it's kind of hard to get an orthopedic trauma surgeon to come to a smaller community. So not only did I begin my practice in smaller community hospitals, but I also started a company called Trauma One, in which I and 12 other surgeons, orthopedic trauma surgeons, would provide coverage on an as needed, so a locum tenens, so we were there temporarily, basis to community hospitals who otherwise couldn't get care. And what this meant for those communities was people that had these horrific injuries, big injuries, now didn't have to drive 300 miles or 200 miles to get care. They could stay at home and be cared for by their families in their own community. So not only was I being a physician, but I was trying to be a fiduciary to my community as well. And so preparation meets opportunity. And that is what is really important. And that is why, as a physician, I was prepared to deliver care, but I was also prepared to understand what the implications are in the delivery of that care. And that's what spawned me to go and be an entrepreneur as well. So I would suggest to you that you make a plan. And then you tell somebody about your plan, because it doesn't become real until you share it with somebody and there's expectation around your plan. Find a mentor. And as Alan said, find more than one mentor. But I would suggest, better yet, find a sponsor, because there's a difference between sponsorship and mentorship. Mentors go along with you on the ride. Sponsors give you the vehicle to take the ride. So let's talk more about sponsorship, but let's think about those two opportunities together. And then finally, self-esteem means knowing you're the dream. And that is so important. So make that plan and be that plan and know that you are the dream, according to Oprah Winfrey. And then as you go through life, you will have new information, and that will shape a new vision. So here's kind of a side hustle that I got into. As Ingrid described, I was at Johnson & Johnson for 6 years, and I'm sorry, Ingrid, it's called DePuy Synthes, but that's okay. I'll tell them that you tried really hard. And I learned about industry in the most unexpected way. I was not looking for a job. I didn't want a new job. I was perfectly happy delivering care to orthopedic trauma patients. But a friend of mine just asked me if I would consider thinking about coming to work for Johnson & Johnson. First of all, I had no idea that there was even a job that was defined by Johnson & Johnson that I could fill the need for. And so understanding, and that going back to being prepared to meet an opportunity. Once you're given new information, you can have a new vision. And mine was now to transition from clinical practice And the impetus for me was I really felt like I could have impact on more than one patient at a time as I could have with a surgeon by going to the largest healthcare company in the world, Johnson & Johnson. Now I could impact 5, 10,000, a million, sometimes 1 billion people with the impact and the contributions that I made to medical device. And it's hard work. And it starts in the very first. Above all else, you must be the best at your craft. You need to ask the hard questions of yourself, and then you need to be prepared to hear the answers. And those answers may come directly from you as you do your self-assessment, but they also may come from those around you. Take a chance. Take a bunch of chances. More shots on goal. Fail fast and pick yourself up and keep moving. And biggest of all, most of all, accept that you will not be good or great at everything. That's why you surround yourself with people that are better at things than you are. Become a part of a collaboration. You don't have to go it all alone. And then for your homework, one of the toughest jobs one of my mentors ever gave me was to write the perfect job description. And it sounds easy, but it's super hard because it takes all those things that you've been through, looking in the mirror, saying what you like, what you don't like, what you'll tolerate, what you won't. And then once you find it, once you develop it, once you've written the job description, try to find the job. If you do, great. How lucky are you? But if you don't, identify where you need to compromise so that it can be the almost perfect job. Because big secret, there's probably no perfect job. And then Michelle Obama shares with us, you may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. Finally, well, almost finally, enjoy the ride. Now that you're good at what you do, enjoy what you're doing. Do the things that make you happy, but also give back, help others, support others, continue to grow, flourish in enjoying the ride. You're almost there. You're not there. And I say we're probably not there till we're dead. So we're always going to be on this journey. So learn at some place to take and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy the pride that you have in what you do. Continue to hone your craft. Use your power for good. See one, be one, teach one. Be proud and unafraid. Names matter, labels matter. We should always pursue the highest title available and fight for the labels that reflect our clout. Stacy Abrams. And never forget where you came from or where you're going. All those little places on the map will mean something and provide an area of expertise that you can always look back on. So pay it forward. Give servant leadership a try. Expect the good before anticipating the bad. Kindness, as always, matters. And be your best, even when it's hard, because someone is always watching. Finally, start unknown and finish unforgettable. Misty Copeland. Thank you so much.